All right, the program is still this morning on ITV, and the story in town is June 12. The honors to be given, to be awarded, the highest honors in the land to be awarded posthumously to Abiola Gani Fawehinmi, and the vice president of Abiola in 1993 election, Ambassador Babagana Kingibe, and we are looking at that very intently as the program goes on. Our correspondent in the Villa Iharata will be calling in to tell us what the atmosphere is like at the old banquet hall in the presidential villa. But I have just by my next right Dr. Uche Diala. He's the convener, Nigeria Patriot Corps. Doctor, welcome to the program.
My pleasure. Good morning, Nigeria.
Yes, and by my far right, I have Barrister Victor Akangwe. Barrister, welcome to the program again.
Thank you, my good brother.
Thank you for coming on the program again. So we are looking at June 12. You know, can you help me make meaning out of what June 12 is?
Thank you. First of all, I want to say to Nigerians, Happy Democracy Day, because this has been a long time in coming.
Democracy Day?
Absolutely.
We just celebrated one in May 29th.
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay.
We can celebrate a whole lot more.
Okay.
You know why? Because for 25 years, Democrats in this country, Nigerians, most Nigerians, have waited for the conclusion, if you so to speak, of what happened in 1983. 1993. We transited to civilian rule in 1999. Certain things that most people expected should have happened, because MK Abiola epitomizes all the sacrifices that Nigerians, put in before, during, and after that election. Many people tend to forget that that election was the best show of what we can be, what we really are as Nigerians, where we came together and agreed that two Muslims should lead this country. Because if they had won if the election had been concluded, as declared and all that, we would have had two Muslims leading this country. And Christians like myself had no issue with it. So I think it's a monumental day. Personally, I'm happy.
Okay, Barrister, you were active in 1993. I can remember I was still a young kid then, but you were very active in 1993 from my discussions with you. Now, why do you think that election was so important and widely, acceptable by Nigerians?
Well, my good brother, I have to thank Nigerians for seeing this day and to also congratulate my brother, Dr. Diala. I'm just meeting him for the first time. I thank God that I, Victor Kangbe, who was a young secretary of Boki local government in 1992, a young lawyer who had just left the law school in 1989. I went into politics. I was in the SDP, and in my local government we won. I'm from Cross River State, Boki to be precise, and I was appointed secretary of the council and the legal advisor between 1991 December to 93 after the annulment and all that happened. And that singular act of Babangida, people don't seem to understand, like my friend just said here. You see, we had the most tortuous political transition program in the image of Babangida, who is now making noise and trying to deceive Nigerians. You know, people like that should be shot and executed. Because Babangida took over power from Buhari in 1985. I was in the second year in the university then. And he now drew a program, a political program, with the establishment of the political bureau. If you understand, in 1989, he established the political bureau. And from the political bureau, there was a recommendation that there should be a two-party system, and two political parties were formed in 1990, the SDP and the NRC. I remember I just left service in Kaduna where I served. I was teaching the Polytechnic Kaduna then. And then all of us, I got a job about 10 days later, but because of the political atmosphere then, I saw SDP as a viable option for me. I had to resign from my job, join the SDP. As young men, we just, you can imagine, a greenhorn in the legal profession. And in my local government, in the state, where I come from, although the NRC won the governorship, but the SDP won the majority of the House of Assembly and the local governments. Mine was one of the local governments. And then when the issue of the presidential campaign came up, before even the Abiola Tofa conundrum, there was the Musa Yaradua, the Aliu, what do you call him, Chiroma, Alaji Chiroma, the Shinkafis, the Bamangatukos of the NRC, and then Yaradua, Olufalaye, and SDP. The transition has started in 1992. A presidential candidate on both parties had almost emerged because there was this option A4 process that was established, and everybody in the country, receded back to his village to participate because they said all politics is local. And that's why, like I said, young men like us went to the village and we participated in the process. Then that process was cancelled on very frivolous grounds by Babangida because he was not ready to give power or give up power. He cancelled the process and said they should start again. You can imagine where Real Madrid and Liverpool were played up to 90 minutes.
Yes,
and then just during injury time, he said, no, I've cancelled the match.
Okay.
So the man, a dribbler, just cancelled the match or the political program and said, no, they should start all over again.
All over again. Okay.
It almost killed the transition of all young, meaning Nigerians. Meanwhile, Abiola and others still came back on board. In 1992, the process started again around December 92 until sometime in February, March 93, the candidates emerged between NRC, Aminu Tofa, Othman Bashir Tofa, and then MKO Kashimawa Abiola emerged for the SDP. At the end of the day, what we see today where guns are being brandished all over the place. In fact, I voted in Boki, in Borum, my village. I mean, the process was transparent. The man won in about 26 or so states. Some states, including Kano, where Tofa comes from.
Where Tofa is from.
You understand? And then suddenly, before we knew it, on the 22nd of June, Babangida purported to have nullified the election on very inexcusable excuse.
Okay. Doctor, just talking about annulment, let me pick it from where he dropped it. Just talking about annulment, so many Nigerians, had supported IBB, saying he did the right thing to have annulled the result. I don't know, do you think it was right to call off that election?
I don't know about so many Nigerians being happy that it was annulled. Barrister has done a fantastic job.
To give us a background.
Yes, because the lack of a sense of history in this country is our problem. You listen to the young ones these days who were not even born when this was happening, and they just talk. You wonder who is giving them the history. I am not sure that there's any reasonable, sincere, objective, patriotic Nigerian who was happy with the annulment of June 12. Look, Barrister has painted the road to where we got to. And if we have more time to, one can equally still paint. Look, it was a monumental event that brought a lot of young people. I was very young then. I remember I was in my 50 in the university, and I was in Lagos at that time. The passion, the excitement, the patriotism that went into all that. Of course, the political maneuverings that he has talked about. And that was an anticlimax. And that's one event that I pray we never see again. And that is why I'm saying that today, every true patriot is happy with what has happened. Because we can finally lay to rest the spirit of June 12, the spirit of MKO Abiola, Kudirat, his wife, all the pro-democracy activists, all the Nigerians who died in what they called also Abiola, those who are Igbo, when after the fact, how can somebody be happy with, if you look at what even happened after the annulment, the uncertainties, the fear, the panic, the confusion. We were seeing a process that was midwifed, not by the best of midwives, but we all agreed. We all bought into it, and suddenly you crashed it. Okay. And why I'm not happy, even in my happiness today, is that I wish that didn't happen, because we would have been, our democracy would have been a lot much better by now.
Okay, Doctor is not happy in his happiness. You know, I love that statement. You're not happy in your happiness because we would have gone further than where we are right now. Barrister, you did a very good job by giving us that background. Now, let me ask you again. Why, do you think that the candidacy of MKO Abiola was widely accepted as against what we have now?
Well, if you do recall, you said much earlier here that you were a very young man then, but if you do recall, Abiola had ventured into a lot of enterprise. He was in sports, popularly referred to as the pillar of sports in Africa. He owned, in fact, the first Nigerian to own a private newspaper, as a matter of fact, Concord newspaper. And I have to say here on national television that the B3 I got, or then it was A3, they used to call it my school cert, was because of readings I got from, Sunday Concord. There was this author, one of these writers, Delegiwa. He used to have a column called Parallax Snaps on Sunday Concord. I used to read that column. My dad was a school principal. My dad was one of those old graduates in the 70s. And I had the opportunity to early education, and good one at that time. I had the opportunity to be reading Concord. I was always been given Concord by my dad. Each time he goes to Calabar, he will buy it and bring Sunday Concord. And through the education, the intellect exhibited by Ray Ekpo, who is still alive, Delegiwa, Yakubu Mohammed, Danagbase, they were all founding editors and editorial staff of Concord, the first newspaper established by, the first privately owned newspaper outside the West African pilot before our independence. And some of us were young men, not these days that people just you see them pinging up and down. People go on Facebook, they don't even know what they are saying. They will abuse the president with impunity. They don't even know what you post an issue. Nobody wants to. Just like my colleague here,
and they keep on reposting it.
And posting and writing all manner of stupid issues. It was Concord that made me to get an A3 in English in 1981 when I had my school cert. And that enabled me to go and read law, because I passed both English. I was the only person that passed English in my class. You understand? Because of my, I would thank Abiola for that, because all my reference was through Sunday Concord. I used to follow the analytical way the writers, the Legiwa then. And you also understand that it's not just Concord. The man had ventures. He was in agriculture. He was a philanthropist. He was generally he tried to streamline the Muslim Christian divide by assisting people from all walks of life across the nation. So, and he was a man of enormous wealth, and he didn't use his wealth to intimidate or oppress or malign anybody.
Use it for the betterment of
the society. And so it was quite easy for his candidacy to throw up emotions among the Nigerian masses. A lot of us, wow, if you watch some of the clips they show on Hope 93 campaign, you see you see the poor. In fact, how many rich men did you see there? In fact, the rich, it's a conspiracy of the rich against Obasanjo, the elite, against Abiola. Because the whole of 1993 election was midwife, the voters then were just the poor people, the masses of the people. And that's why my colleague was saying that you say many people were happy. Like who? Frank Kokori was the Secretary General of, NUPEN. He called off a strike that lasted for 6 months. In fact, Pascal Bafia was the outgoing president of NLC then. All of them, the country was totally paralyzed. Yet Babangida stayed put. And the next we had to do was to hang an illegal interim government that paved way for Abacha to overthrow and extend the malicious plot against Nigerian people. And I think for all of us Nigerians, wherever you come from, the pan-Nigerian mandate of Abiola and Kingibe is what we should emulate. We should not be abusing the president today because it's Hausa Fulani or it's a Muslim, because tomorrow it could be the turn of a Christian to take over power. What if the Muslims too decide to sit back and continue to crucify from day one? Then we will not have a country called Nigeria. And the truth is that as I speak today, if I show you what even happened in my village yesterday, young men were just hacked down by cultists, encouraged by politicians. And nobody wants to know what we are doing in our various states as governors, as House of Assembly members, as senators, as House of Reps, as local government chairman.
All attention is shifted.
Everybody Buhari. Yes, if you don't eat this morning, they say it's Buhari. if your wife slaps you in the morning, you say it's Buhari. I mean, it's hopeless. It means we are not even growing. We are descending into the abyss. So, my brother, I think we should start the reformation of Nigeria with this declaration of our dear president that today, I wouldn't have gone to court if not for the call of duty. I know that even my brother, the doctor here, if not for call of duty, otherwise you see me dressed, I'll never dress like this. I don't have to pass it to Buhari High Court. Because it's important. Otherwise, I would have told you I'm in court. But because of the importance attached to today's date, it's a holiday for me.
Okay, doctor, now let's come to you. When you first of all heard the announcement from the president that is going to confer the honors, how did that make you feel? After over 25 years and almost 3 years into his tenure, how did it make you feel?
Okay, before I come to that, I want to add to what Barrister has said, to paint the picture for the Nigerians, especially the younger ones, younger than me, who don't understand. Barrister, I will add that Chief MK Abiola, at a point, built hostels in state-owned universities.
It's very, very correct.
And I was a student in Abia State University.
Very, very correct.
Studying optometry. And I recall that the Abiola hostel was where I spent my last 2 years.
Very
my 5th year and
very,
my 6th
very
year
correct.
in
I
school.
just missed that.
And this he did in all state universities. You see, I think today is a moment for Nigerians to reflect on our humanity. And I appeal to the government to reintroduce civics and history. Yes. Our national history. Don't be afraid of the bad sides of our history. In that history, there are good things. There were men who are not perfect. I hear people talk about the bad sides of Abiola. Everybody has his bad sides. But you see, when you juxtapose Abiola as a politician alongside today's politician, you will find that we have lost our direction as a people.
And our world apart.
The worlds apart. And Abiola is, like I said, epitomizes a group of Nigerians. We have not talked about Beko Ransom Kuti. Of course, we have to go in there. You see, when you say, how did I feel? My brother, you can feel my excitement.
Yes.
When I heard that news that day, I said, thank God. It wasn't just about Abiola. What about Gani Fawemi? These are people who gave their entire lives struggling for this nation, a nation of beautiful people from various tribes, creed, and tongue, but who God in his wisdom has brought together. The message for today, Barrister talked about the president. You see, one other thing I felt on that day was that, yes, now I'm convinced that we have a Democrat as a leader. He called himself a converted Democrat. That day I believed. Forget all the political shenanigans. Today, since that day, I've seen Nigerians of the PDP, of the APC, of every party, of different tribes, Yoruba, Hausa, Igbo tribe where I come from, irrespective of our political inclinations and sympathies, to say this is good. And we need more of these kind of actions to bring out who really Nigerians are. Because what we are seeing today is not who Nigerians are. What you see happening in Benue, in other parts of the country, is not who we are. If we read deep to who we really are, which is there, right? You can pretend that you are a hard man. You can pretend that you are a difficult person. But if the real you is lying somewhere underneath, if it comes out, some of these our problems will just dissipate.
Okay, Barrister, would you have loved this announcement made by the president to have been made around sometime between 2000 and 2010, or between 2010 and 2017?
Well, you know that there have been a lot of commentaries on the timing of the announcement, or the timing of the declaration, let me put it that way, or executive order. Because under the powers of the president, Section 5 of the president is the chief executive of Nigeria. And like someone said on channels the other day, my Leonard Senior, Leonard Sikh Falana, SAN, people forget that 29th May was verbally declared by Obasanjo. I defended Obasanjo in 1999. But today I hate him to hell. Because that man is an opportunist. The man is the greatest beneficiary of this, you know, this landmass called Nigeria. For doing nothing, it's not as if he played any single. I thank God this young man is a Biafran. Oh, sorry, it's an Igbo man. Sorry, I'm sorry to call that. During the Biafran War, Obasanjo never even fought the war. It was only when they removed Adekunle and what do you call him, Mohammed, that is General Montar Mohammed, that he just came a few months, like 2 months, to take the instrument of surrender from Philip Effiong, who came from my area. But to talk about the war, go and read the entire Civil War. The man is of the signals, is it signals or S&T or something, I don't know. He's not a fighter. But he now posed as if he was the one that liberated Nigeria. He was the one that brought Nigeria together. It was a military decision that he should just go there on posting as a colonel. Just a few days to the end of the Civil War. In fact, Ojukwu had even taken off to Cote d'Ivoire. As at the time, Obasanjo was posted to that, what do you call it, second commando or whatever, second command of the Nigerian army. But today, right from that 1971, when that incident happened, 79 or 76, when he became head of state, after the death of Murtala Mohammed, he has had opportunities to rule. But all he has done is to make it look as if he is the one that God brought to come and deliver Nigerians.
Are you presupposing that he would have done better than what he has done?
Of course, in
a democratic setup.
That's where I'm trying to go. Okay. He spent 8 years. Added to the 3 years he spent in 1979, between 76 to 79, it's about 11 years. And let me tell you something, one hidden fact about Obasanjo. Obasanjo does not want any single Nigerian, dead or alive, to surpass his so-called achievements in quote. That is why he's ever jealous of any president after him. He did that to Babangida. Even though for good reasons, he criticized Babangida then. I remember I was in the high school doing my A-levels then, 1992, 91, 92. No, sorry. What am I saying? I was in high school in the 80s. Yes. 83, 84. Before I entered the university in 85. After my A-levels. The man criticized. At the time he was criticizing Obasanjo in 1992, I was a secretary, as I said. But come to think about, see what he did to Jonathan. See what he even did to Yar'Adua. It was the same person that brought Yar'Adua. When Yar'Adua took ill, he knew that Yar'Adua was terminally ill, yet he brought him. Can you imagine the fraud? What other fraud can be perpetrated against Nigerians that the kind of, I don't know whether they call it, I don't even know what, verb to use to describe that. The man is a fraud.
Okay, let's come back to the real question now. Would you have preferred Obasanjo, who is from the same area with MKO Abiola?
It's not even about being the same area. It's not about like I said, my brother here, the doctor here, is from Abia. Yeah. I'm from Cross River. It's not. See, that's why we're talking about tribalism. Do I even know where you come from? But I love the job you do here in this television, on this platform. You are not as biased as AIT and other platforms that don't give opportunity to other dissenting opinions to be viewed. Yes, they claim they are the best. So you don't need to come from the same place with someone to do the right thing. That's what my brother was saying here. Obasanjo came and benefited. He's a greater beneficiary of Abiola's struggles. Yet, as soon as the president pronounced Abiola, he now had to issue a long letter of, because he knows how to use our stolen money to employ intellectuals to write letters for him. He had to employ a very long letter saying they want to frame him up so that the classism of that declaration would die down. We are not children. We are not kids. Even my brother here, who said he was a young man then, he's not a doctor. Okay. He's not a doctor you get through Open University. Okay. The doctor you go to a proper university.
Barrister, before we let you go and attend to duties.
I may still just stay, and I know that, let me just stay and finish the program.
Okay. Now, Doctor, let's talk about the issue of the confinement. Some people, most especially from the opposition party, and some people who have worked in past with the opposition party said this decision is political. Do you think this decision is political?
My brother, if this is how political decisions should come, let it come every day. you know, again, the people that say that, I'm sorry to say, are not very sincere, even with themselves.
And should they even be considered as patriots of this country?
I'm not going to...
Judging from the background that is given by Barrister and from where we started from to where we are now.
I'm not going to judge as to the level of their patriotism, but I would just say that they are not sincere, both with themselves and with the nation. People can say whatever they want to say, but the truth is always glaring, right? The decision, in any case, June 12th was a political event. And it should be addressed politically, not religiously or
culturally.
Okay, now we get it.
Yes, so for me, that is not a non-issue. What is important is that 25 years after a wrong was done, somebody
has come to correct it.
Yeah. And then somebody, I will add, there's no bad time, wrong time to do a good thing. The question you asked earlier about our former president, Chief Dr. Olusegun Obasanjo.
You can add the Matthew and the Aremo to the name.
Yes,
to make it more complete.
I can say that it was unfortunate that he had an opportunity to do the right thing. It's not about writing his name in gold, to do the right thing. Like Barrister said, Chief Obasanjo was the biggest, probably remains the biggest beneficiary of whatever, of our collective sacrifice and efforts that culminated in June 12th, right? One expected that, it doesn't matter whether they're from the same state, that is immaterial. What mattered was that this was a man who God gave a second chance to come and do everything right, to come and try to set Nigeria on the right course. The first thing that should have been done was to acknowledge those who sacrificed for the democracy that he came to enjoy. So to the extent that he did not do that is a big minus for him. And I'm sure in spite of all the letters and all the distractions, deep in his heart, he's wishing that he had done things differently.
Okay, the right thing. I just heard yesterday, just to reiterate what you said, Abiola's daughter yesterday said Obasanjo came as the governor in 1999, not by popular vote, but by selection. Yes, and I took that yesterday. He said he came by selection. Now, Doctor, so many people, Barrister, so many people are talking about, the list of the awardees. Some are even saying the SDP of today is even saying that the vice president that contested on the same ticket with Abiola should not be recognized for accepting to take position in the government of Abacha and dumping the struggle for reinstatement of democracy.
That is, like my brother said here, is like playing the ostrich. Because the SDP of today, what are they? It's not an arm of PDP. The SDP of today is an arm of PDP. Olufalaye was the secretary to government under Babangida. Even when that annulment was done, what effort did he put in to fight the process? In fact, Olufalaye was one of the beneficiaries outside of Tony Aneni, who was the national chairman then. Olufalaye was supposed to be, he came second in that presidential primaries. You see, because of the way some leaders pose as leaders, we know them. We thank God that for education, God has given us the opportunity to go to school. Nobody can just come. A lot of them, ask him if he left government in 1970 something or 80 something and is still relevant today. At what age did he leave government? He wouldn't have left government older than any one of us here. So any one of us here can be president of Nigeria. Even 10 years back, I'm qualified to be president of Nigeria. Even 10 years back, if you rewind it 10 years back, I would have been like 20 years as a lawyer. You understand? So they shouldn't even make it look as if they are too smart. The truth is that Babagana Kingibe, just like all other Nigerians, even Chief Solomon La, was the Minister of Police Affairs in that regime, a good number of SDP guys, because the reason why the military junta did that, they deceived them that they were going to, revert the annulment. Yeah. I remember I left Cross River State in 1993 and moved to Abuja in early 1994. In fact, the overthrow of the ING caught me here in Abuja on the 16th of November, 1993.
That was the interim national government.
Yes.
That brought
one early morning like that. The announcement by who was Abacha who. You understand? What the point I'm making is that a good number of those political leaders who participated in that government did that on the understanding. Even Abiola himself was deceived by Abacha. You remember some of the meetings they had in Lagos before Abiola was finally arrested. You know, when before his arrest, it was Abacha that arrested him eventually. Because during the ING, Abiola was still in what they call, he was in London when he took flight, and told every Nigerian that you cannot, confront the moving train. Who was the moving train? It was Babangida. And then when he came back, after the Tekpede declaration, he came back, Abacha had meetings with him. I can recollect those meetings. And the impression Abacha gave him was that he was going to reverse the annulment and that Abiola should nominate members of his political party, key members to participate in the government so that eventually they can just do a handover. That was never to be. So I don't know how you blame Ambassador Babagana Kingibe. Those who are
for being nominated by Abiola
to serve in the government. That's the truth. Yeah. And I wonder why Nigerians, like my friend said here, the history of this country, people don't want to know about the history. Yeah. It's just about lies, turning facts upside down. It's not correct. The participation of Babagana Kingibe in that government was as a result of the resolutions of the SDP then. He didn't go into government as an opportunist.
Okay, can we, let's try and see if we can connect with the State House correspondent who is now in the presidential villa as we await the conferment of the award, posthumous award on MKO Abiola. A very good morning to you, Iharata.
A very good morning, Gabriel Kuba. How is the office?
The office is fine. What's the atmosphere like at the old banquet hall of the presidential villa?
Yes, Gabriel, the atmosphere here at the old banquet hall is one of intense security here. The men of the security personnel here have already taken position. I gathered when I arrived here about 40 minutes ago that they were here. Some people slept here at the banquet hall, while you could see many vehicles here. Some of them brought the first sets of, I think they are family members. I have not spoken with them yet. I think they are family members of either the Abiolas or the Ganifaeni or some tied to Kingibe here. I'm seeing them trickling in here. The security at the entrance of the old banquet hall is very tight here. Most vehicles we are being turned back to go and look for alternative space of parking. That this entire parking lot here will be fully excessively occupied, because they are expecting so many governors to come in here, so many persons to come in here, all the people that will be coming in here, political appointees within the APC, some within the old SDP here, and so the place is very, very tight here. I think I'm seeing some persons here mounting outside broadcasting facilities here, running the cable quickly because time is against them here, and several other one thing from government-owned media organizations here, they are trying to quickly run the cables here. Some of the government media, both I think one radio and one television, they're running the cables inside quickly to see if they can catch up with time, because the event is just less than an hour and a half away here. And generally here at Gabriel, the atmosphere is one that appears to be very security tight here, and persons are trickling in, and the event looks like one that is not serious. Okay,
Ata, before we let you go and get back to the studio with our guest here, this is one event so many people have been waiting for over 25 years, and 20 years after Abiola died. And you've seen a lot of conferment of national honors on so many Nigerians. What makes this conferment different from the other ones?
Yeah, I think, Gabriel, what made this one so special is that this one touches on the life of the nation's democracy here, and whether we like it or not, based on what someone was saying here, I just heard them talk while I was packing and preparing here, and my cameraman, Olaoluwa Fakorode, was busy trying to mount his camera, get set to check that the camera system and others are functioning here. What someone is saying here, is that this one is so different that as far as many persons are concerned here, this is the one that everyone believed that MKO Abiola strongly and very strongly deserved to be honored. That the reason why we had an Obasanjo, why we had the Yaradua, why we had the Goodluck Ebele Jonathan and Nana Buhari was because of the fact that MKO stood for what he represented, what he won. He fought for it, he died for it, he lost Kudirat for it, and in all of this place here, everyone had come to accept that after the June 12th cancellation, the country was at the brink of collapse. And so no one wants to try it now. And the reason why they don't want to tamper with democracy was the fact that MKO was able to stamp out something after he lost the election while searching for his mandate. That as far as it's concerned, democracy has come to. So honoring that particular man at this time, Gabriel Kuma, is one of these lot, very, very exceptional. And particularly for some persons from the Southwest geopolitical zone, this is like a healing process here that they felt very slighted at the time that their own won election and it was nullified here. But taking it away from the tribal or the regional platform here is a national idea. And if you look at those who are trickling in here, the vehicles coming at this time, those who are arriving very early now, they cut across tribal lines here. Although those in the Southwest have gone to the Eagle Square, where most of them are expecting to be moved down here. But the ones coming in here, some are even wearing the Igbo red caps. That shows that it cut across both tribe, both religion, both everything. It's a national issue here. And Gabriel Kuma is one that we are just hoping if I could go in now, I get my seat, prepare myself, and start to see how the event will unfold in the next about an hour and a half. Okay,
Ikarata, thank you so much for giving us the update on this program, and we do hope that we'll be getting more updates as the event unfolds. Thank you so much, Ikarata.
Thank you, Gabriel.
Okay, you just heard what's going on. He's talking about the red caps. He's talking about the caps from the Southwest. And he's talking about the caps coming from the North, referring this as a national issue.
You know, today should be a day of reflection. Today should not be a day of political arguments. Today should be a day where Nigerians will imagine what could have been and what can be. You know, those who witnessed the chaos that accompanied the annulment of that election and the near collapse of our nation as we knew it, can look back and say, if we overcame that and remained as one, yes, then there's no challenge as a nation that we cannot overcome. Then we should also look and say, because we're deeply spiritual people, unfortunately, we have lost that spirituality on the altar of religiosity. Yeah. How come it is that it is a former dictator, in quotes, a former military man, who many years after, God enthroned him after many years, many times of trying, struggling, to become the president of Nigeria. He struggled for many years, even though nobody, both in the opposition and within his own political rank, can really come out and accuse him of not being a man of integrity. I'm talking about our president today. What is it that happened? There must be something about it, that he is the one, whether you say it's political or whatever, that he is the one that has the political will, that has the sincerity to realize, and has the nationalistic instinct to realize that this is one bullet that can, one drug that can cure a lot of our ailments. Because many of our national ailments are actually psychological. They're not physical. There are things, you know, I look at you and I see the cap you're wearing, and immediately I begin to be tapped. Automatically I begin
Knowing
to
where you come
imagine
from.
where you come from and what you can do to me and all that. You walk into somewhere and you say you are Igbo or your name is sounding Igbo, expecting that you are going to abuse the president, for instance.
Yes.
Expecting certain kinds of things. You get? So you see that then we now magnify these things and they become issues. I think, and I know from the reactions one has gotten from different parts of the nation that this is one balm that we have been waiting for. And I believe strongly that it's going to bode well for our nation and our democracy going forward.
Okay, it's a good thing here. I have a doctor discussing politics and I have a barrister discussing politics. You know, men of
a wonderful combination.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so barrister, talk to us now. What do you expect to follow after the conferment? Some people are talking about, you know, installing the portrait of Abiola in the presidential villa where other leaders are. Some people are talking about giving him whatsoever perks of office belongs to former heads of state and former presidents.
Yes, I have had a lot of commentaries on what should follow after today's ceremony or event. For me, as a Nigerian, as a patriotic Nigerian who believe in this government, Lord, my brother is saying, I don't know how you choose us, because I believe in this government. The struggles that some of us have been having over the past, in fact, I left university in 1988. It's 30 years this June that I became a graduate. I've been struggling. I was just 23 years then. And we have been struggling for a better Nigeria, because I remember when, as a youth, my school fees was just, as a youth, 30 naira in the secondary school, 65 naira in the high school, 190 naira in the university. Session, I'm talking about sessional fees, that's annual fees. But today, even my first daughter alone, I pay more than 1 point something million in the university. The second one is same thing. You have to struggle and struggle excruciatingly to even send your children to school. It didn't start with this president, because my daughter is graduating this year. So you should have been in school long before this man became president. You understand? So for me, I believe that the president should go a step further, not just a step further, steps further, by one, paying all the entitlements of a 4-year term to the family that would have accrued to Chief MK Abiola, GCFR, to his immediate family, the surviving children, and his most senior wife and children, Kola and the rest. 2, name at least 3 national institutions, say universities, maybe the University of Lagos that Goodluck Jonathan wanted to do. Maybe the University of Lagos should be named MKO Abiola University, because Obafemi Awolowo University, which is Ife, my friend was Ife when I was in Calabar. They named it after Awolowo when he died. Ahmadu Bello University is named after political. Azikiwe was also given a university in the southeast. So why not Abiola? So I will even recommend to the government passionately that the University of Lagos or any other national institution, it might not even need to be in Southwest, it could be anywhere. You understand? Should be named after him. Thirdly, a major road in Abuja, a major road like what we have the Ahmadu Bello Way or any of the other longest roads within Abuja, a national monument, not obscure streets, major streets. And finally, to hurt Obasanjo, the national stadium should be named MK Abiola Stadium, Abuja.
Okay, Doctor, what more do you expect to see going forward from the conferment?
I will just take it again from where
He stopped.
Barrister stopped. The greatest honor that we can give to Abiola is to promote those ideals that he lived and died for. I take it from, he talked about the stadium. And I'm glad that not only that this president deal with the issue of June 12. You remember the promises made to our under 17 that won made decades ago. This president also has redeemed those promises that he didn't make. The promise that was made to Bonfere Joe, who was our coach, that was never redeemed. He didn't make that promise. He has redeemed
just given a house last week.
Absolutely. The mausoleum that was being built for Nnamdi, late Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe, that was abandoned. He has given Philip to that now, and by September it will be. So I'm trying to also point out that for those who say it's political, he is restoring the bridge. And we should now make sure that our education, for which Abiola built hostels for state universities, that really have nothing to do with him, not universities
for those who were on scholarship,
which I benefited from. And scholarships that Abiola instituted, that our education should be given attention.
Priority attention. Yeah.
Priority attention. So that we can begin to have properly educated citizens in the true sense of the word education. Not just paper education that doesn't liberate them and give independent thinking. And of course, our sports. Our sports, which is a vital component, also part of education also, that also gives youths the ability to liberate themselves and express themselves. So, in addition to the physical things that Barrister talked about, which I totally agree with, there's no honor that you do to Abiola that is too much. Then we should take it to these issues, education, sports, and the democracy for which he died.
Okay, Dr. Uche Diala, I'll take that as your parting word because it's all encompassing. Now to Barrister. When you talk about May 29th, some people just see it as a day in the passing. It just comes and it goes. Now that we're going to next year, June 12th as Democracy Day, do you think it will make more meaning to Nigerians and they will value it more than May 29th?
Well, quite frankly, that is it. In fact, as I speak with you, I'm so full of joy. In fact, there is no Nigerian, even those who lost, like Tofa is trying to play the role of a bad loser. There's no Nigerian, like he said, in his innermost or her innermost heart and spirit that will not be happy for today. Because like he said much earlier, a lot of people didn't understand what happened after the annulment. That was the greatest event that almost tore Nigeria apart. And that's why when you see me, excuse me, when you see me reacting the way I'm doing, in a very emotional way against the president, the former president Obasanjo, there is no, if you check Obasanjo in 1991, 92, 93, it was just one dirty farmer like that. Sorry to use the word. But the event of June 12th and what culminated, God just paved way for him to come and benefit. And
right
the
wrong.
With a duty or a mandate, come and right the wrongs. He just came and even institutionalized institutional corruption in the National Assembly, in power sector, in all other sectors. And today you go about writing letters. I want to thank God for Muhammadu Buhari. I'm ardent Muslim because I'm a Christian, I'm a Catholic, I'm a knight of the Catholic Church. It is not just about carrying titles, say you are this, you are that, or I'm a born-again Christian, or I'm a Catholic, or I'm an Anglican, or whatever. Do you follow Christ? Because Mahatma Gandhi said in one of his famous sayings that, look, Jesus Christ I love, but Christians I hate because they don't follow the teachings of Christ. Which is what we do today in Nigeria. Like he said much earlier, we are more religious than even the Pope. Everything you do, they want to give religious inclination into it. Meanwhile, the man who is even talking about religion cannot even greet or give food to the next door neighbor where he lives, even inside the church.
All right, okay, let's take that from you, but this is where we call it to an end on this program. And thank you so much for coming on this program. Dr. Uche Diala, the convener of Nigerian Patriots Corps, and Barrister Victor Akangbe is They've been here in the studio for about 50 minutes, and it seems as if we shouldn't go out of this studio because they've done justice to this topic, and we are awaiting the formal conferment at the presidential villa. Thank you so much.
We want to say, congratulations, Nigerians. Okay. Congratulations, my brother here, Dr. Idiala, and Gabriel, the entire crew of ITV for doing a wonderful job. Continue to do this good job, and God will continue to bless you in Jesus' name.
Okay, thank you so much. On behalf of the lead presenter, Iharata, and my co-presenter, Catherine Yemese, Blessing Umoru, and the people at the control room, I say do have a lovely day as you await the formal conferment of MKO Abiola. Thank you for being on this program, and this is where we draw the curtains. My name is Gabriel Kuma.